I've made a few videos before on creepy riddles, which are basically just short stories in which the scare isn't super obvious, and you might have to think about it in order to get it. Those videos had all the answers in the description, but these are the few that I haven't been able to figure out. I got out of jail yesterday. I killed 5 people, but since I was a minor, they let me go after 4 years. At the time, it was all over the news. I really do feel bad about it, and I've decided to get a job as soon as I can to help my family. Why do I have to help my family when I'm barely over 18? After I did it, my parents got fired, and my sister couldn't pay for tuition and had to drop out of college. For 4 years, they've been living off of savings, and never going out of the house except to buy food. And then their savings ran out 6 months ago. Since then, they've been living off of salt and tap water. I figured they all must hate me, but when I got back, they were acting like nothing's happened. My mom was laughing her butt off at a sitcom, and my sister was drying her hair while she talked to somebody on the phone. My dad was smiling at them while he drank from a bottle of beer. Man, if I don't find work soon... August 1904. I found a strange diary in my home. I moved here 6 years ago after I married. A short while after, we had a daughter. Sadly, I lost both my wife and daughter when the ship they were on sank 2 years ago. The house was empty now, and I decided to renovate it before I sold it to someone else. When the workers were knocking out a wall in the room that had been my wife's, a strange diary fell from the ceiling. The diary was given to me. Its handwriting was definitely my wife's. This is what it said. July 15th. My life with you begins now. This was the day we married. September 21st. I was made to be with you. December 9th. Even so, I will never let you go. February 23rd. Not long now. February 29th. Do you understand? When I finished reading, I was so scared I gave up on selling the house and packed up right then and there to move to a distant town. I've never believed in the paranormal. Ghosts, demons, aliens. It all seemed so stupid and fake to me. One of my friends is all superstitious about it, and tries to convince me that this stuff is real, and that I should go look for a ghost or something on my own. So, whatever. I told him why not, just so I could prove him wrong and make him shut up. He told me there was an abandoned house a few blocks from here that was alleged to be the site of a murder of some woman years ago. That night, I grabbed a tape recorder and a flashlight and set off to explore the house and see if I could commune with a ghost. I climbed through a window on the side of the house, crawled in, and turned my light on. The house was really desolate and empty, definitely abandoned. The only thing in the house was police tape covering the entrance of the staircase. The room at the top must have been where the scene of the murder took place. I tear it off and walk up the stairs into the room. Dead silence. This seems the best place to communicate with a ghost, I thought to myself, so I began recording with the recorder. Hello? If there's a ghost in here, show me a sign and make a sound. I stood there for about 10 seconds, waiting for something. Nothing. I stop the recording and wait a moment. Hello? If there's a ghost in here, show me a sign and make a sound. Silence. My heart sinks. I run out as fast as I can and don't look back. I had never been so afraid in my life. At the end of June, a college student was found dead in his apartment. He'd been dead for at least a month, and his body was found in a bad state of decay. The cops called in his brother, Tetsuya, to identify the body, and while he was there, they played the messages on the answering machine of the deceased. March 14th. A message from his mother talking about a trip they took when he was little. It cut off midway. March 16th. An invitation to a trip by a friend. March 21st. A message from his father saying that his grandpa wanted to see him. April 25th. A message from his friend saying that he needed to go to school. That was all that was on the tape. The calls from your parents were always at around 2 a.m., the detective said. Tetsuya nodded. My parents died when we were both little. I'm a huge believer in the supernatural, but my friend, we'll call him Joe, always used to tease me about it. Well, not anymore. I made him try this ritual I found online. The idea is simple. You sit in a circle of salt in a darkened room, with 4 candles at the cardinal points. He was pretty reluctant to try it at first, but he came around eventually. I explained that it was really important for Joe to stay in the circle while I did the ritual. He called bull, but I made sure that he stayed put. He is my best friend, after all. Anyway, the whole thing was pretty disappointing. Nothing really happened, at least not that I could see. Joe looked really pale, though. It's funny. He hasn't really hung out with me since. I haven't heard a word from him for weeks now. Then again, I guess that just proves that I was right all along. My girlfriend is kind of dumb. She called me up today saying that she was really scared about those murders on the news. You know, the ones by that serial killer. All the TV shows are saying that he kidnapped his victims from their houses and kept them tied up for weeks before killing them and dumping their bodies in the river. But it wasn't the killer she was worried about. It was the victims. Apparently, she'd heard some stupid story about how the ghosts of people who have died in violent ways sometimes come back looking for vengeance on the ones who killed them. She's really scared because her house backs onto the graveyard, and she figures they'd find her first. I told her not to be silly. The whole idea of ghosts is ridiculous, and even if the victims could rise up from the dead, they wouldn't be in a position to come after anyone with their limbs sliced off. She said that wasn't a very funny joke, but she seemed reassured. Like I said, she's kinda dumb.